fam. Welcome to the first episode of 5 p.m. at Monty's. You know what it is. If you know it's good, I'm joined here with Spiked Rob and myself is Cheddar Bobby, brought to you by Pro Sports Extra. And we're about to get in about this FSU game tomorrow. Go Canes. How you doing today?
Great, man. It's good to be talking about the Canes 2-0 leading into FSU week. Can't fucking wait.
That's right. So it's already almost game day, so we won't go too much into the last game, but just quick reaction, like happy to be 2-0. Obviously, it's always good to be winning, but honestly, I'm not like that satisfied. It's always great to see the new offense, I should say, put up points. But like, first of all, everyone, I mean, I don't see many like actual Miami Canes fans saying this, but like anyone who's like joking around saying Miami's back can stop. Like that needs to stop. Like we're not. It makes us, first of all, it makes us look bad. And first of all, I'm not saying it. Second of all, I'm not saying it. And third of all, we're not back until we get another fucking ring. So what's your thoughts on that?
That's right.
Yeah. And like,
I actually saw just a straw poll on Twitter, and 60% of people were just where you are, man. Like 60% were like, we are not back until we are challenging for rings or winning another championship ring. Like that's not how it works. And these are, of course, Canes fans. So
yeah, like 2017 was awesome, but like, great, dude. Like we ran the table until the fucking end, blew it. And that's like the only thing we have to hold on to since we've last won anything, and that's fucking bullshit. But that is what it is. Quick recap on Louisville. As I said, I'm happy with the new offense, but like I need to see more. Last year was in his bag, calling plays, but like those big plays to Knighton and Brevin, it was awesome watch. Got me hyped up, but like Louisville's defense is shitty, and like we're not gonna like maybe the worst defense we're gonna play all year, and so like I'm not gonna like get like so hyped up about that. I just want to see more from that end, and like turning into the offense. I'm just gonna dive in right into the offense now. Quarterback, not very much questions there. Obviously, Derek King's our guy. The only thing I just want to see is like again with the offense is to progress more. Personally, I want to see more increased accuracy on the deep ball throws. It was better than UAB, like, but I know he can do it. I just want more confidence. Like when it comes down to fucking Clemson in the fourth quarter, I just want to like not be on the edge of my seat wondering what he can like make a certain throw. Like UAB, he was sort of shaky. He was better in Louisville. He made some nice plays like to Harley on that outside pass, but like it just seems like I just want to make sure like he's not like getting all these big plays because like the offense is wide open or like shitty defense to Louisville. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, one of the best things about him is that he doesn't take chances, but we may need him to be the top team in the nation. So
yeah,
I would like to see a little bit of that, not a lot, but enough to show us that he can do it. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe Lashley's not like pulling out all of, like the big plays yet, but like I just want to see a little more progression going into week 3. Running backs, that's probably our best unit on the whole team. Nothing really to complain there. I'm just interested maybe to see like how many snaps each running back gets. Cam's obviously the main guy. Jalen's going to get his touches, and obviously from the last game, Chain's going to get his last touches. Yeah, I mean, Rooster was phenomenal last game. He's insane. I honestly, like he's everything we thought he'd be. I can't believe fucking FSU didn't take him. Fucking losers. But I'll get into more into special teams later. But I honestly might be down for him to get more like returns. You know.
Yeah, well, that leads into our current return man, Mark Pope. He's a receiver. I mean, what do you think of Pope and the rest of the receivers right now? I don't.
Yeah, so that's going to receivers now. I mean, that might be. I mean, you're gonna go into the O line later, but like receivers, bro, they gotta step up. I mean, big thing was Peyton being out last week, and he might be our best receiver on the core. He's my personal favorite on the core because I know. I mean, he was all we heard last year was how he was balling out on Green Tree, and I think he's a player, and so we'll see. This is a big week for him. So, and then like it's like I'm not trying to like knock any of the guys, but it's like sort of embarrassing at this point, like how old some of these guys are, and they're not doing anything. Pope didn't have like a terrible game, but that drop was horrendous. And Harley's drop, and
Yeah.
Harley had that nice catch that I mentioned before, but that touchdown drop was horrendous too. And my question to you is on this. So like I'm not like what is good with Marshall Few being so high on the depth chart? So like shouldn't like I don't know if it's like a coach like coaches just like want to put them there for like their own shit or like are they trolling us? Because like to me it seems like Restrepo was balling out in all the scrimmages, but he's not getting any reps. But I didn't see Few getting any snaps last week, but like it's going to come down to a point where like the next man up, and like I'd rather see Restrepo or Redding get more snaps than Few. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the talk of Canes Nation is, our receivers aren't good. Can we bring these young guys in, which means going over guys like Few and going right to Redding and Estrepo and all the freshmen. I mean, they're on the chart. They're just not very high up. And it's like, all right, guys,
Yeah,
we know that they've got talent and they're not going out and dropping balls, at least right now. So how much worse can it get? Not to knock anybody either, but Pope had a bad drop week 2. Week 1 as a punt returner, he had that fumble, and he's the leader on this team. Like he and Harley's a senior, he's a junior. Like can't be doing shit like that, man. You can't. Not at this level, not at this time.
To your point, I just like don't trust him, And like
yeah, I know his heart's in the right place.
Yeah,
he's a fighter. Every time he's out there.
Yeah, and like dude was a fucking 5-star. Like I forget exactly what number all over wide receiver crew he was, but he was up there, bro. And all I hear from all of the South Florida guys are that wait on Pope, wait on Pope, wait on Pope. Well, we've been waiting, haven't seen shit. So I mean, like he didn't have a bad game. He did make some good big third down plays, but yeah, that drop was just unacceptable. But yeah, I'd like to see. Redding got some snaps last week. He had a big block on that Jordan Hurdle play.
Right.
But I just don't like. All I heard off season was how Restrepo was balling out in practices and scrimmages, and I haven't seen him touch the field yet. So, moving on to tight ends. Like the running backs, there's nothing to complain here. They're balling out. Brevin, let's go.
They're so good.
Yeah, let's go.
Mallory is a fucking we should have them on the field the whole time. He should be a real Mallory should be blocking because honestly I've seen Brevin blow a couple blocks going to the O-line for a bit, but Mallory is a straight up blocker and he gets open. He perks up chunks. He went 75 yards on a play that got called back, but fuck man, the fact that he went that far, it's insane. It's insane that he's your number 2 tight end. Like that's just crazy. So I love it. I love every second of it.
One of my boys like to call him Baby Shocky. I don't know if I think it might be a little reach, but I see. I mean, yeah, maybe if he beats up a little bit, he can get to that point. But so do you wanna go into the lineup? What's up?
Yeah, for sure. So I look at Mallory more like Greg Olsen right now. Like that's Olsen blocks. He does. I mean, at this point he's fucking old, but back in the day he was a very well balanced tight end and an absolute just a killer and an assassin in the red zone. That was the guy who you can never sleep on. And if you've got someone who's even looks like that, plays like that, I heard from one of the podcasts that we listened to, Mon Richards was saying that Mallory had some of the best natural hands he's ever seen. And that to me makes him a red zone threat every time. And he's not your number 1 option. He's just going to be sitting there and people are going to be sleeping on him, or they have to keep, one person on Brevin Jordan. I mean, we have to take advantage of that. But that comes to the O-line. So the O-line, I'm really liking this year. Last year, they were rough. Last year, we had a lot of issues. But part of it was the offensive play calling. I definitely think that made a huge difference in what we asked these guys to do. But this year, I mean, the one play that I actually tried to pull out and post on Twitter, if y'all follow me, is just a quick, like, it was basically a clip of the run play that Cam took to the house. And on that play, it was phenomenal to watch everyone on the line. It was like a wall, just a straight up brick wall. It was beautiful. And while we caught them in in kind of a stunt, so that's why it made it even easier. Their outside contain actually folded in right on that play. Great play calling, great timing. But the fact that the line never moved. I mean, there was just a line of white. And as soon as the guys tried to break it outside to get around them, you just see the line kind of shift a little, and it's a wide open lane, and Cameron Harris ran by everyone. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that is great to see because we didn't really have that last year. Even when we were breaking runs, it was not because the whole line was getting shit done as a team. But they were definitely doing it against Louisville on those big plays. Consistency is the key. If they can push as the line all the time, one of the things that Lashley was talking about was that FSU's defense is probably the best one that we've played all year so far, and their front seven. That's what he said. So he's saying that at least in terms of talent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's just saying that just to like hype the boys up because like there's no way they're better than Clemson's defense with that Willis, right?
No. Like so far, and in 3 weeks, they're by far the best defense that we'll play in terms of talent. That's what he's saying.
I mean, that's so not like. I mean, think about it, like Louisville is like their defense is trash and it's UAB, so it's not like saying much. But
yeah,
like, I mean, I'm down with him saying that because it'll at least hype up the boys, But
absolutely.
yeah. So
but yeah, I'm worried about them.
Sorry, go.
Oh God, he's been great. No, he's been great. So to talk about specific guys, Williams has been phenomenal. I mean, we could talk about this all night. Every one of our transfers has come up big so far. I mean, they have not. I don't think anybody's
been huge, dude. It's like
yeah.
Props to Manny. Props to the coaching staffs for all that. Jared's been key. Not talked about enough. But yeah. Last thing I'll say about the O-line, I'll let you finish, is that I just want to see, especially earlier in the game, I just want to see less penalties and stuff. So, like, that's
100%. Yeah, no, that killed us. That was definitely the big issue. But that's mental mistakes like that, I think, are easier to solve than team or line cohesiveness. Again, acting as one, communicating with each other, really staying on top of things. UAB's defense had a couple free shots at De'Eric in the first game because of breakdowns in communication, and Louisville's defense arguably is worse, but they didn't have any free shots at him the whole game. So that to me just showed, that raised level of communication. You can work on mental mistakes, just having a little more focus.
That has to do with like the whole like COVID. So we barely got any like spring practice in, so like that
for sure.
Like my hope is that it'll get better as the season goes on.
Well, yeah, and hopefully the rest will stop trying to screw us over because they definitely did against Louisville.
I mean, like, to transition to the defense now, that fucking penalty, lack of penalty of that chop block against Phillips was ridiculous, dude. I was scared, dude. I thought he was almost like done for his career.
Absolutely. They happened multiple times. That was the part that really, they called one out of like 4 of those that actually took place. It was bad. But we got called. I was keeping track. I was live tweeting, as I will be doing for the game itself. I was keeping a running tally, and at one point it was like 8-2 Miami to Louisville, and it wasn't like Louisville was playing clean at all. They just didn't get called for anything on their offense, and we kept, the 75-yard throw to Mallory wide. He went 75 yards. Oh, we're bringing him back, and then we went and got the first down and scored anyway. I mean, we were scoring despite all of the, I would say, quote unquote mistakes, because some of them, they happened. The refs didn't seem to care when Louisville did them, but only cared when we did them. So I don't know how you're supposed to clean that up. You got to play the game. So I don't know. I just want to see for FSU, they've got very athletic front seven. They play a very weird defense, and in that it's not. I think it's like a 3-4. So they're going to show a lot of looks. If our offensive line is still got that communication, we should see very, like I said, just kind of you could draw a line right down the row of the pocket, or draw a line, for the blocking or whatever. It should just be a unit. So if we've got that, I don't think FSU can stop us on defense, because we'll control the trenches. When you've got that control,
Marvin Wilson is
you can
not
open up so many.
Yeah, Marvin Wilson's not looking like a top 10 pick that he was supposed to be. He also, I think I saw a stat the other day, he has zero career tackles or tackles for loss against Miami. So, I mean, going into the game, we'll get to the overall FSU team later, but like last year it was Marvin Wilson, Cam Akers. Cam Akers isn't there anymore. So it's Marvin Wilson. I mean, I think Asante Samuel is very good, but like I could see Asante Samuel being someone who like doesn't care anymore if this team isn't good. Like he's just focused on the pros.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, Marvin Wilson doesn't scare me anymore. That's my point.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't. The way that our line looked against a lesser defense, I'm not scared of them either. I just want to see that they continue to work as one and they don't get, I don't know, too overly aggressive or whatnot, because that's what will mess them up. If we get somebody who, like basically what I didn't see a lot of was our guys come in the backups and sliding right in, because they had the same problem our guys had week one, right? They haven't had as much time to communicate and work in the unit. So I'm just hoping that we got no penalties against our guys that would give them, kicked out of the game, something stupid like that, or injuries.
Yeah, we have to play smart. I'm sick of the penalties, though. They make me almost break my TV. So what's your thoughts on your on the FSU linebackers?
So FSU's linebackers, again, they're interesting because the way that they set up their depth chart, they talk about like a stud back and
what is good with
like
that? I was looking at their depth chart and I laughed out loud. I was like, you really called a position stud?
Yeah, and it's really weird. I went through and looked at the game footage from the Georgia Tech game, and they just looked slow. Like they didn't look, and I know it was their first game of the season, so that's fair. We looked slow. We looked slow against Louisville and UAB at times on defense. But their blitz scheme and all of that, it's a 3-4. That's what it looks like to me anyway. It might be a little, a hybrid of something, but none of their linebackers to me stood out as guys that they're going to take over. That's the one person we have to block every time, because they miss tackles left and right, all over the place, all day against Georgia Tech. This gets into a different conversation, but the reason why Georgia Tech didn't run away with that game, they won by 3. They had 2 field goals blocked and an extra point blocked. That's an extra 7 points to put that game away early in the game. And that was after FSU came out on fire and, got a pick, scored a touchdown, should have scored another touchdown. And even with that, it wasn't the defenses it wasn't the linebackers of FSU for sure that were keeping that game close. It was the fact that they had a true freshman quarterback for Georgia Tech who just wasn't on the same page. So yeah, I mean, they did fine, but even then they didn't look dominant. And that's crazy to me. They did not look dominant at all. So I don't see them creating problems for us. At most, they're athletic enough to keep up with De'Eric, so he probably won't be able to, shoot from the hip and go running all over him like he did against UAB, because I do think athletically they could probably keep him contained. But I don't think any one of them can cover Brevin Jordan. I don't think one person on that team, not one linebacker anyway, can actually keep up with.
It's going to be like a big Brevin Jordan game. I mean, I said that last week and he balled out, but I think he's going to keep, he knows this is an NFL year for him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And he always shows up against FSU.
He was so excited.
Yeah, he was so
That's the thing.
He was awesome. Um,
He was like, it's game day again. Let's go. He was so
I love
pumped.
Brevin Jordan, dude. I love him. Yeah, I'm not. I think that Lashley will get whatever he wants against that defense. I'm not really too worried about that. Um, like I said, like I keep saying, I'm just like only just like dumb mistakes. That's all. But thank God we have Derek King as quarterback because he hasn't turned on the ball yet. Any thoughts on their DBs at all besides Asante?
That's the only person we're talking about. I mean, they had so one of their guys, and I don't have his name offhand, um, when they were up 10-0 on Georgia Tech, the Tech quarterback should have thrown 2 picks that game. One he threw away, like he just threw it right to the defense, and then Blackman turned around and gave it right back to Georgia Tech, so it didn't do anything. But then like a drive or two later, he tried to throw it in the flat, and this guy was all over it. Number one, he's a senior, bounced off his hands, would have been a pick six, would have sealed the game for them, as it turns out. And he turns around, he's smiling. He's like, I can't believe I dropped that. Ha ha ha. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you serious? You should be so upset with yourself and looking to get it back. And he was literally grinning from ear to ear and was like, I can't believe I did that. That's crazy.
Dude, that's
like
pretty much the state of the FSU program right now. Like I like to say, like I mean, I said it.
Yeah.
I said it in 2017 when I was watching Lamar Jackson run all over Derwin James, and I was like, Derwin James is supposed to be like the hyped up next Sean Taylor guy. And I was like, I mean, not gonna lie, he's good in the NFL and shit, but I was like, this program stinks. And like, ever since then, I mean, like, it's a joke with me and my friends, like, FSU's finished this program overall. They're done. And like, honestly, they haven't been since. Like, I don't
Yeah.
see,
No, you're spot on.
there hasn't been any, like, even glimmer of hope for that program since Lamar Jackson fucking crushed them. So, I mean,
Yeah. Well, and they're still getting good. I mean, here's the thing. I'm sure looking at them play, they were the secondary, especially if they're called to come up and tackle, they're not going to do it. Like they're just not. I didn't see one guy in that secondary except when they were trying to go for the pick or something and was there to wrap up the receiver. Not one guy was good at hitting and wrapping in open field, unlike our guys. Like what they literally had no open field tackles that I saw anyway.
Especially now with like all like the COVID and limited practices, like they're going to be even worse at tackling.
But it was so bad. I mean, that's the thing. Like they were trying to go for kill shots. They were trying to go for big hits like Miami used to do when we were shitty. Like we were just trying to go for highlight stuff so we could get noticed by scouts, not actually playing fundamental football.
And that's the sign of a team that is on the brink of like giving up if they like don't make a big play.
Yeah, exactly. It's a home run or nothing. They're either striking out or they're hitting a home run.
And if they strike out, they're going to give up.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I will say that Sante Samuel Jr., he's trying to be a ball hawk, but it's because he wants to pad his stats more, I think, than anything else. He's looking for his big play. He got 2 picks against Georgia Tech. I mean, both of them were thrown right to him, actually, now that I think about it. One was 30 yards deep, but he never left that area. They threw it right to him. But that's what he's looking for. He's looking for the highlight plays. He's looking to get his NFL career started. So if it comes down to Cameron Harris running at him and he's supposed to make a tackle, there's no fucking way that's going to happen. He's going to try and throw himself at the knees. Cameron will, hurdle him or some shit, and that's it. And he's going to be able to be okay,
I mean, it sucks that like running backs aren't in like the Heisman like race anymore. It's like only quarterbacks because like if it was fucking like 2005, bro, like Cam Harris would be in the running.
Gosh.
Off the top of my head, like I mean, I know not every like Pac-12 and Big Ten have been played, but like, who's a better running back than him right now? I mean, like Chuba, I didn't see Chuba doing anything last week on Oklahoma State. And like also he's not gonna get like the touches to be a Heisman guy, but you know what I'm saying though. He's good. I mean, he'll obviously go to the next level, be good. Miami running back, like, but yeah. So
well, that's the crazy part is he's unlimited touches. He's going nuts. Like I mean, his yardage on limited touches is crazy, and he's supposed to be a bruiser. He's supposed to be like the next Frank Gore, and he's blowing by. He ran by everyone on Louisville's defense. Everyone. They had 20 yards. Like,
I didn't know he had that speed. That was insane.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean. Like, that's crazy.
yeah, I love Cam so much. He's the man, and especially after when he was dissing Lingard, like on Twitter when Lingard transferred, he's like, oh, like he I just and he he diehard reps to you, and that's what I appreciate for anyone. But yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll say about that is that yeah, I mean, like I just like don't know if he's gonna get 1,000 yards of rushing because like they're gonna give Knighton touches, they're gonna give Chaney touches, So we'll see about that. Let's flip to the other side of the ball. FSU offense, I'm not at all like this. Like I'm honestly more worried about. I was more worried about UAB than them. Blackman beat them multiple times. Their O-line is, correct me if I'm wrong, have they have any update on the O-line since last year? Because they're garbage.
So it's interesting because they brought in a guy, I'm pretty sure he's a transfer at right tackle. And I'm sorry, I think I'm actually reading it wrong. It's at left tackle. And big guy, I mean, huge, but not mobile. He might be good in the run blocking game. And I say that like loosely. I don't know. I did a full breakdown from what I could see from the highlights of the Georgia Tech game, like the extended highlights. I counted 4 different people who played right tackle for them in that one game. And some of it was because of injury. Some of it is because they were so bad that they pulled them. They kept bringing in a different backup from left tackle, right guard. Doesn't like everyone. They literally threw whoever they could try to put at right tackle. And there were multiple plays in a row where they got beat around the corner and just got, and I mean, Blackman got annihilated. I counted so many plays, for me anyway, I've never seen so many plays where on a pass play, 4 of the 5 offensive linemen end up on the ground. Like, just a fucking pile. I don't, because they like, yeah, I mean, well, and it's like, even on those plays, both of those plays, Blackman escaped the sack on that play, but they like, that was their defense was, oh, I got beat. And they all just literally like threw themselves at the ground into each other. And it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. I could not believe that many, like the whole line just dropped like a fucking, I don't know, like dominoes. It was just nuts.
It's so crazy how nasty FSU was at recruiting, like for like the recent years up until like a couple years ago, and they didn't get any linemen.
None. Not that I could tell. I mean, not that I could tell.
They also they recruit well in SEC country. So it's hilarious to be honest, but yeah. So like our defensive line is gonna feast on them.
We really should. Now, my thing is what I noticed. 2 things. One is the only guy that looked halfway respectable on their line was the center. And he literally got rolled up on like hard by one of his own guys. Like the guy finally got a good block, the left guard, I think, or right guard. And he took the guy and planted him, the defensive guy, in the ground, but like through the center's knee, like basically from the back. And it took him out the whole game. And that screwed them. Like literally the next play, the right guard had to move to center. He's the only senior on the line. He had to move to center. He snapped the ball to come in to back him up, completely missed his block, and left the linebacker wide open. They got like a 5-yard loss. So that guy the center might be the only one who looks halfway decent. And I don't even know he's going to be back by next week because, I mean, he got like his entire knee got like rolled up on. And so he may not even play. But Blackman only got only got sacked, not pressured, but sacked when it was immediate. If it dragged out, if we didn't get him on the first shot, he's slippery. He's elusive. He's not a runner, but he was I think he's used to having no line. So he's kind of better than most at escaping surefire sack situation.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he's definitely like a
our
little
D-line has
mobile.
to be.
Yeah, he's definitely a little mobile, but like, yeah. I mean,
I'm
this
just worried about that.
FSU offense does not pose any threat to me like whatsoever. Like the only way we lose this game is if Miami like makes mistakes. So it honestly just
That's
comes
right.
to coaching. To bring on Terry, he's hyped up, but he's really not that good to my knowledge. Like, not scared of him. Like, is there any other
I
players
mean,
that? What's up?
so I don't know if they're going to try and put. I mean, because I think you and I can agree, Al Blades Jr. is our best defensive back, pure cover guy right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So from what I can tell, FSU only has one receiver. So I don't know if Baker does any sort of just man up, just shadow him all over the field, or if he's going to go with the zone, or what. So I mean, you know a little more about the DBs than I do. I don't know if that's something they're going to try this week.
If I had to guess, I'd just go. I think they're going to go more zone. I mean, I don't think Terry poses like that big of a threat. Threat. Um, yeah, I mean, as long as like as a unit, like the whole defense does their thing. There's not like one thing they need to focus on. I mean, even Ivy had a good game last week. I saw some stat. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was only like he only had one reception on him last week, and I was a big Ivy hater going into last week, like especially after Christian Williams left.
Right.
And like it seemed like he got his shit together a little bit. Blades doing his thing, man. I mean, last year he was he was like number 2 besides Jeff Okuda with like I forget exactly what stat it was, but like the best some cover stat like I think maybe it was a separation.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean like Blades like is underrated. I'm more so I just want to see Bubba get more snaps. I like Amari Carter. He came with a big hit. He comes with cool hits, but I mean Bubba needs to be a full time on the field. That's why I'm a little annoyed with Baker sometimes. I don't get his play calling. I understand if it's like a seniority thing. Like he plays like people with like he plays like upperclassmen more than underclassmen. That's why I was a little annoyed with the Christian Williams thing. I don't know if Christian Williams was actually bad or if like it was because he wasn't played enough because they wanted to play Ivy more. It is what it is at this point. But either way, I'm impressed with the DBs last week. We'll see. Gervin Hall had an injury this week, so let's make sure he's able to play. But yeah, when it comes to our DBs versus the FSU wide receivers, I'm not that concerned.
Well, it's interesting. So I saw something where Coach Diaz, Manny said that the coach for FSU has like the same sort of background or coaching history, coaching tree as try to run this kind of spread, or I don't even know how he described it as they establish the run first, but then they try to hit you, over the top. I had to look up the name of the FSU running back, and like that's been a long time since I've had to think about who the FSU running back is.
Yeah, I did
and
the
he's a
exact
transfer
same thing.
actually, so he just not even.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's been a long time, so it's weird that. Yeah, I couldn't believe that a guy who focuses on the run like needed to go out and he took over a program that he needed to get a transfer to start. Like that's not a good sign. So one of the things that I saw from their offensive line was they do a lot of pulling plays. They do a lot of like the tight end and the guard pull in a direction, and they either run that way, kind of power offense, or they it's a fake and they go the other way. But that doesn't make any sense to me against our front line. Our guys, we had a lot of issues stopping the run last week against kind of that stretch zone, quick sort of outside runs. But our guys, they eat when it's in between the tackles. That's what they want. And they want guys pulling because then they're quick enough to follow the pulling guard, pulling tight end right to the play. Like I don't see how that offense is going to do well against our defensive line for sure. Linebackers, I don't know. Zach McCloud had a good like couple highlight plays, but he wasn't super effective.
Yeah, go into more depth about Zach McCloud if you can, because like as you said, he made a couple big plays. He's a great leader, but overall he didn't like seem to have a great game, right?
So yeah, and that was the issue. The biggest issue is that he's not a middle linebacker. Like he's athletic enough, he doesn't have to be, but as the leader of that team, I would want him in the middle. You know, I would want the most vocal, whatever emotional leader of the team to be dead center and just making things happen, just put him in a position. And he's not. He's one of our outside linebackers. And we've got Bradley Jennings Jr. in the middle, and he did not do well. Like he was slow. He didn't read the plays fast enough. He got blocked way too often. And it was just, there were a couple plays that I saw that I went through the tape and looked at where Zach is kind of waiting for Bradley to make the play, and then he doesn't react. He gets blocked, and then Zach has to react late. Like it just becomes a quagmire right in the middle. And yeah, usually it was Bubba Bolden making the tackle, from behind or something, which
shouldn't happen.
Yeah, shouldn't happen. So I think the biggest issue with our linebackers is that it's probably a little bit that early season jitters as well, that they're not reacting. They're not reading and reacting like they should because they haven't had enough practices to kind of get that as second nature or as an instinct. But Zach's played long enough, and that's the thing. Bradley Jennings, he's a redshirt junior. He's played long enough that it should not take him this long.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Zach, dude. Like I was like expecting like after redshirting last year, I was expecting him to like come in and be like the almost like top linebacker in the country. I mean, like maybe I should have held my expectations, but you know what I mean. Like I thought, like I don't know, he's definitely letting me down. Bradley Jennings is, I mean, like yeah, I mean he can do better, but like he's had some impressive plays so far, So, but
well, and that's the thing. Zach came up big. When we needed for example, the what was it, strip sack fumble recovery, like that was all Zach McCloud, but that was on a broken play. It was on a pass play, it was on a broken play. So when the chips are down, I'm glad Zach is out there. But when it comes to handling the defense and making sure that things are done correctly, he's not quite there. And honestly, that's not his job. He's not, as the outside linebacker, your job is not to make sure everybody is in the right place. That's the middle linebacker's job. So he's not in a position to even really impact the game from that perspective.
So what's your, like, to continue on that, what's your thoughts on the striker position? Because I almost think like, I mean, like, I don't even, like, I'm not that impressed with our striker position, to be honest.
Yeah,
I know Amari Carter is not a striker, he's safety, but I think that he should almost maybe switch to linebacker. And also on the linebacker note, I want to play Sam Brooks more.
Sure. I mean, that's the guy of the future. He's right behind Jennings, so he should be out there more. Again, that kind of comes down to what you were saying about Coach Baker, given, press. I don't even know how to put it. Like, just if that's his guy, then it's your position to lose, not let's find the best guy and put him in there.
Dude. I hate it, dude. And also, dude, like Sam Brooks is like, we need to like so like Zach McCloud, I love him, like, but he's like the same like type of linebacker as Shaq and Pinckney, but too slow. In modern day, we need it faster, and that's what Sam Brooks is.
That's good. Well, and with McCloud, it works great when you have Pinckney and, you have all of those guys who all play the same way. Right. And like I said, McCloud is playing flow. Half the time I didn't know what Jennings was playing. Like he was just sitting, he was still reading. And it's like, dude, like just roll. If you make a mistake, make it going 100. That's what my coach always told me when I played. If you're going to make a mistake, go as hard as you can because I can't fault you for your effort then. Don't freeze and be indecisive. And that's what I saw a lot from him. And as he got more comfortable, he started making some plays, but that doesn't, again, the mental stuff, that mental sharpness is hard to pick up in a week. And we're really going to need him for Clemson. We're really going to need him to be aggressive at Clemson. So, yeah, I think giving Sam a shot makes a lot of sense. The striker position, it's weird because it makes a lot of sense to me that we put Amari at the striker position, but he's a senior, right? So he's going to be told kind of his last season, you got to learn a new position. Now, there have been people, Sam Shields is the one who stands to, in my mind, who switched positions, actually switched sides of the ball in his senior year, ended up turning an NFL career out of it. So it's not unheard of. And I think that it's worth a shot, especially for someone who hits as hard as Amari Carter does. I think it makes a lot of sense. Get him a little closer to the line, get the fear of God and everybody in that vicinity. You know, the running back doesn't want to run to that side. The quarterback doesn't want to get hit by him.
Yeah, like he's more like Isaiah Simmons, honestly. Like, he can't be dropping back as a safety, you know?
I mean, he can, but he's not gonna pick the ball off. He's gonna wait for the guy to catch it.
I don't want him dropping back.
Yeah. I mean, you could go for the I hit him so hard he drops the ball look, right? Which is not what you want from your deep safety. You want that from your guy up front.
Make him like, and also it'll help him like go to the NFL too. Just make him a hybrid, like pass rusher that can like play like linebackers coverage, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly can do that. He's got the chops to cover an area as a linebacker if he can start as a safety. But I was interesting. I saw something. Actually, I think it was another cast from Kane's Legacy that talked about how he should be a linebacker. If it was a couple years ago, they could move him and he'd be ready. My thing is, you can move him now, but they're worried about the striker position being more for guys who can cover. Like, they're big, they're athletic, they're going to cause a lot of trouble in the pass rush game. But what really makes them dangerous is that they're threats to be cover guys, and they can cover tight ends straight up. And that is, fair enough.
They should be able to do that. They should be able to do that.
Should be able to. I don't know if Amari's ever done it though. Do you consider Amari Carter someone who could straight up cover, someone like what we have, like Brevin Jordan? I don't see it. I see him.
To be fair, we're not playing anyone like Brevin Jordan, so. But yeah, I mean, do I trust him in any type of coverage? No. Do I trust him playing like the tight end at Duke? Yeah. Yes. So, but
I guess my question for you. So Gervin is technically hurt. I mean, we think he's going to play, but we're not sure. He's questionable, right? Mm-hmm. So our three safeties are Gervin, Bubba Bolden, and Amari Carter. And then we've got two freshmen behind him, as far as I know. Maybe you could tell me which one of those guys you'd want to step up to the plate if we're going to move Amari out of the safety position altogether. You know what I mean? Like, who's the next guy up?
So sorry, say that one more. I know. So Gervin, and then Bubba needs to be starting full time for sure. Like, he's in the first round NFL draft.
Absolutely. It's 100%
bogus. We don't have Avante this year. We're talking about behind. It should be. Yeah, Gervin's out. So it should be Amari and Bubba behind them.
Right.
Avante's out for the year.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, that's the only reason why I think it makes sense to keep Amari where he is. Because as a senior,
give Brian Balaam some reps. And Keyshawn Washington. Like, it's time for him to show up.
Okay. They're true freshmen, but you say I don't know enough about them to really say that they're ready. I don't fucking know. But if you think these guys are good to go,
I think
I'm good with it.
At least like during FSU, because they stink anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, Balaam's gonna get some reps.
Well, that's the part that I'm gonna be very interested in.
Yeah, honestly, this would be. I'm really interested in that. This would be a good game to get them some reps before Clemson. Hopefully, obviously, Gervin's ready for Clemson. But anyway, we need that. I'm treating this game, bro, as less than the UAB game. I think this is a scrimmage for us. And give Balaam and Washington those reps. And I think if you just get them a little bit ready, they'll be fine. I mean, I'm not trying to put
Right.
them into a key situation at Clemson, but you know what I mean. To answer your point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I mean, what I'm hoping to see from the whole team is competence. Like they looked through 2 weeks. They looked like a team that was, even when they made mistakes, they weren't fragile. They were competent football players who were like, all right, next play, let's go. 75-yard touchdown pass, not touchdown, 75-yard pass called back, or Jalen Phillips gets a terrible shot to the knee and comes out, and nobody on our team was like, well, I got to go, punch out someone now because that's not okay. And they lose their cool and they lose their focus. Jalen came right back in, made a big play, like a couple plays later. It was amazing.
I know I said it earlier, but I'm so happy and surprised that he didn't come out with any injuries from that.
Oh yeah, me too. But my thing is like, I've never been this confident in a Miami Hurricanes team to not just be talented, but to focus on working hard and getting their shit done, play in and play out quarter to quarter. Like, I mean, I'm going all the way back to Randy Shannon, all of those teams, from Randy's team onward, it was, God, I hope we don't screw up because we got the talent to do it, but we need to actually execute. Let's just execute, guys. Yeah. You can do it. Like, this is like, no, we're going to execute. We expect
we have the
them to
combo
execute
right now,
and it's not
coaching and good players right now. So let's transition to special tems. We're all so hyped about the kicker.
Absolutely.
That was fucking awesome. I fucking love him. I can't wait for the next kick. Hopefully we don't have to make too many kicks in the game, but we're scoring more touchdowns. But
yeah,
boy, do I want to see another 40-yard plus field goal from him.
Hell yeah. And he's going to have plenty, man. He's so good. What's crazy to me, we've got 2 high-quality punters, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but we got him. Headley is
who's the guy behind Headley? I don't know.
He's a grad transfer from Stetson. He was all conference at Stetson, which Stetson's not a high football, but the kid can kick.
I mean, they're not terrible.
No, and dude was all conference for them, and he's a grad transfer basically. I think he wanted to go to a bigger program. They took him. Said it's always good to have a backup. I just don't know if the kid's ever even going to see the field, but it was crazy to me that
hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah, but so I was looking at this. Our special teams, our specialists.
Special teams, baby. Let's go.
They're days. But they have, let's see, about 18 years of experience, and it's stupid. We have 2 grad transfers.
Yeah, Lou Headley's 26.
Yeah, and he's a redshirt junior technically, and we got a redshirt sophomore backing up Borregales.
It's important to say, before it started to cut you off, but before you go on, it's important to say Lou Headley owned his own tattoo shop in New Zealand, I think, before transferring here. So I think he got the call from Manny in his tattoo shop. Go on.
I'm sure he did. But Jose's got almost as many tattoos as Lou does. It's fucking great.
More tats.
Yeah, more tats, exactly. But so it's just crazy to me that our specialists, the 4 specialists we got, have almost 20 years of college football experience based on their grades. I looked at fucking FSU. They have 2 freshmen. They have a true freshman punter and a redshirt freshman kicker, I think, who went 1 of 2. I don't see – this is the thing is, if it's at all close, I don't see FSU special teams turning the tide for them. I see another wide right version, 4.0, I think we're at. I don't know. Or wide left. I just see that more
I think it'd be 4.0, yeah.
Yeah, but so the only thing that I'm worried about is, like I said, I know Georgia Tech probably didn't do shit on their special teams, but to allow Florida State to block 3 out of 4 kicks.
Yeah, that was terrible. I saw that because I had money on Georgia too. I was so pissed, and the over. But I'm not sure if the over catch it, whatever. But yeah, to your point, you're right. Special teams wins games, dude, especially in this rivalry. So.
And it's lost this game. They blocked an extra point to beat us when we had Badgley.
Exactly.
I was at that game. I was in that end zone. It was fucking terrible.
You were at the game.
So I just, yeah, I am worried about that a little bit. Not that Jose can't make the kicks, but that we got to block for him. We got to make sure we're not taking that play off. It's a big deal. So I'm sure just our special teams coach, I'm sure he's talked to everyone who's going to be blocking and say, look, these guys blocked 3 out of 4 kicks. You better show up and be ready to put your life on the line for Jose to make that kick if we need it, because we're not having this fucking blocked extra point bullshit to lose any games again.
Yeah,
so.
I can't. That's like one of the worst times of my life. That FSU game that you mentioned, the Badgley match. But so like last thing I'll say about special teams is I'm fine with Pope being there, but like I get nervous every time they kick it to him because I think he's gonna drop it.
Right.
I just want Rooster there.
Yeah. I mean, he should be. He absolutely should be. There is, in my opinion, I haven't seen Rooster drop any passes. Like, he seems like he's got sure hands.
He has better hands than Pope.
Yeah, it looks like he has better hands than Pope. He's bigger. He's fast. Well, maybe not faster, but he's more aggressive. Like Pope, it freaks me out when Pope like slows down and he's just kind of sitting and waiting for his blockers to set up. It's a fucking kickoff or a punt return, dude. Just go. Like, it's not about waiting for that big gap to hit and run for the touchdown.
I mean, like, he just has too much like nerves and anxiety. It's like insane.
He's looking for that home run play because he knows he's fast enough to do it. Everyone's told him, all our South Florida guys have told us, he's a very, very good athlete, and I believe him. But he's
definitely a good athlete, but can you just fucking play football? That's the point.
And so, yeah, he's in his own head is what I'm saying. He's looking for the big play. He knows how good he is, so it's getting to him. He's not executing. So I don't know if that, but again, as a junior, I don't know if that's going to get any better. It's a little,
yeah, exactly.
It's been a little too long for him to grow up.
Like, Alabama wide receivers are like already like pro ready by their freshman year. Like, come on, Pope. Like, I'm not hating on the dude, but it's like it's fucking time. And if he doesn't do it, then Redding's going to show up. Fucking Restrepo. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about Marshall Few. I mean, like, I don't know why he's in. Well, we already talked about that, but and the fucking guys.
Well, maybe throwing someone like that in front of him.
Jacoby George and Brinson. They're gonna fucking, even if he stays next year, like, he's gonna, like, I'd rather have Brinson at this point next year than Pope.
Yeah, well, and that's. So, I mean, God, some of the guys that we're recruiting for this upcoming class are, especially on defense, God, they look so good. Yeah. And that's kind of the issue that I'm seeing with the defense this year is that I don't think they want to shift all the players around or shift their defensive strategy when they're already – it feels like Manny's already planning ahead for, I got these guys coming into these positions, so he's not adjusting the defense for the guys we've got. This is almost like a gap year, like a stop gap for between the guys we had and the guys we're going to have. And fortunately, I have nothing against Coach Baker, but I do worry that he's not smart enough to pull that off. He should either just keep it simple, play basic, and be bend don't break and just roll with it and fuck everybody else. Or say, you know what, we need to change everything around. But he's doing like these linebacker blitzes from 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage and shit like that.
I hate him. And like, I just really hope that like Manning's not keeping him around because he's his boy. Because that's just like what irks me the most. And
he might be. I don't know. My issue, like I said, is that I can see him trying too hard. I can see him with the play calling trying to be like, well, you think you're smart, Lashley? Watch this. And then it blows up and it doesn't work. And you're just like, come on, man. Like, just keep it simple.
At this point, Rashley's going to, like, save his job. But, like, if the offense is going to score points, as you hope, and he's going to save Baker's job, and we're going to have fucking Baker again next year against fucking Alabama.
And then Lashley's going to leave. He's going to get his head coaching position first.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I hate Baker so much. I really don't know what the deal is. Like, it goes to what we talked about before about like the seniority positions. Like, I know that Greg Rousseau last year was injured in training camp, but like he should have started against Florida. Like, I'm sorry, like, and not even against Florida, but like they played Patchen way too long. It's the same fucking shit with Bubba Bolden, Amari Carter. Um, like I don't know. And then like his play calling is terrible. Like I still have nightmares about the 4th and 17 about against UNC.
Yeah.
And he doesn't put our players in the best positions. And like especially last game, dude. Like there is no reason why Bubba Bolden should be covering Tutu Atwell, the fastest player, arguably the fastest player in the game.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm sick of this guy.
Yeah.
Well, legit, you can tell from me right now. It makes my blood boil. I can't stand it. And I don't know. I'm just like annoyed. I hope like there's always like funny rumors about him getting like hired to like another like school's like position or something, and like that's like what I'm hoping for. Because for some reason I don't think Manny's ever gonna fire him because that's his boy, and like that's what makes me nervous.
He is his boy, and I mean the worst that's going to happen is Manny's going to take over the play calling again, which is okay, but not a good look. That's not how you get to the next level by
I'm fine
babysitting.
I don't care. I don't care if I just want Manny to take over the play calling. I don't care if you hire a dummy. Like it's fine. It's not the best look ever, but like like Patriots, Belichick pretty much coached the defense, even though he's not the offensive coordinator. Like it happens with good teams.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Well, so I only got one more thing, and then I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything anyway. So we certainly can talk about our stats to our predictions, but FSU. I'm so worried because I think we're going to beat FSU no problem, but I'm worried because they're such a fucking dirty team, and there's such sore losers and just straight up assholes about it that I see them taking cheap shots. I saw they did it to Georgia Tech. I fucking posted it on Twitter. In the same play, they tried to take a guy's head off. They taunted him after they missed, and then another dude on the sideline tripped the guy who went out of bounds for Georgia Tech when he tried to get back up on the same fucking play. Like, it's garbage. And so they're going to try and bring us down. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're gonna try to get us to like get frustrated and shit. That's their only game plan. That is the only way they win, if they frustrate us to like getting into their bullshit penalties, and like I said earlier, that like our O line starts fucking up again, and like that's the only way they win.
Yeah. Well, and that's the only way that it screws us for a really good game with Clemson. If we continue to progress like we did from game 1 to game 2, and we do it in game 3, the only thing that will really fuck us over are dirty plays, injuries, or people getting ejected and missing, the next game because of it. That sort of bullshit that's going to be the real test, I think, of our team. Because like you said, we look very competent. We look professional. We look like we have a bunch of professionals playing football for us. We haven't looked that way in fucking 20 years almost. So I'm really hoping that I'm right about that, and that we will be able to protect ourselves, not start too much shit. And when they start shit, respond not too much, but enough that FSU is the one getting in trouble and we are okay, and we kind of keep them at bay. Like there's a balance there, and
I think there's going to be
it's not about FSU.
I think there's going to be at least like one like mini fight that's definitely going to break out. Like not like
probably.
Like,
well,
like remember like 2 years ago when we beat them at home and they tried to fight Jeff Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be like something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to talk shit to Cameron Harris before the game because he tried to warm up in their end zone or some shit. I remember that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
There'll definitely be at least a little something like there. I mean, every year there is. It'll happen. But yeah, as you said, like keep it smart, But
yeah.
So you want to get
Amon Richards?
Let's as we end, want to get into like a little prediction.
Sure. So I'm going to be conservative with it because I do I am worried about all the bullshit that they're going to try and pull. And I'm pretty sure the refs are not going to protect us at all because they didn't do shit last week. And I don't think they're going to do shit this week because it's the ACC and they don't give a fuck about Miami. So I think Miami's going to win. I think we're going to win by 10. And the reason why I think that, first of all, the spread's like 11.5. I don't think that I would not bet on that personally because it's a rivalry game. And like I said, FSU has nothing to lose. So they're going to play dirty. They're going to try and fuck us up. And, our O-line's going to protect King every which way, and he's going to protect himself. But they're going to try and go after him. You know it. They're going to try and fucking take him out. So I'm not going to bet that we're going to run the score up on them or be overly flashy. I think we're going to go out there, get our shit done, score 30 points, easy. But I think they might score 20. They'll probably miss an extra point or some shit. And Pope will probably fumble something on special teams. That's how they'll get one of the touchdowns. Just saying. I think it's going to look very similar.
So you're calling a Pope touchdown?
I'm calling a Pope fumble touchdown, as in he's going to give them a touchdown, like he did for UAB. I don't think they're going to score a lot, but no, I'm hoping Pope also scores a touchdown. I think he will, but he's just as likely to also fumble a punt to them and give them, free points like he did for UAB.
That's what we were talking about earlier, dude. Like,
yeah, no, I know.
I really don't need that.
Well, maybe they'll shift it, but I don't think they're doing it this week, man. Maybe in 2 weeks. Like once it happens again, they'll pull him.
I think, honestly, I don't know why he's better at catching punts than he is at catching football, like as a wide receiver.
And yet he's fumbled every time he looks. I'm like, God, just catch it. Like I'm so worried he's going to drop that shit. He does not look secure in catching that punt. And then he tries to overdo it, do too much. God knows, it's like a loaf of bread. It's bad.
Dude, heart like.
So I'm saying 30-20.
My heart beats every time he catches the punt. Like, I mean, I just have PTSD from, like, I mean, I'm always a big JT4 stan, but like the amount of fumbles he had as a returner, like, pain. So you said 30-20.
30-20. Yeah. I'll say 4 touchdowns and a safety on Blackman. For us.
Safety. Yeah, I can see the safety for sure. All right. So I honestly obviously like every fucking game is always usually close, but like I just don't see it with this FSU squad. I think they're trash. I think they're done.
Yeah.
I think they're done as a program overall. They don't have the head coach. Like they're hyping up this guy who coached Abilene Christian in like 2011. I'm gonna hang a 50 bird. I'm gonna say 55-24.
I can hear you a little bit. Yeah, I can see you. There you go.
All right,
I heard 35-24. Is that
55-24?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think they're in a. I think we're in the, like, Red Lash is going to be in his bag. We're going to score a lot. Offense is going to improve. That's my goal. Derek King's going to toss it around. And, I mean, I think there's, like, it's going to be, like, they're going to score, like, max, like, 2 touchdowns early, but, like, they'll score some garbage points later on. That's all. I'm really, like, I'm less worried about them than you would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be conservative because I love to be pleasantly surprised,
I got you, bro. So on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. First ever episode of 5 p.m. at Monty's. Thanks for Spike Rob for coming on, co-host. And beat FSU, and we'll catch you guys next week.